Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Today we thought we would begin with Papa's prayer, one poem. The world is not there for me. For me, the world is God. Every part of it is divine. There is none but He and I. I? Where is I? When all is He. I, you, He are all one in Him. It's all one life, one thought, one form. One is the sound and one is the strain. One is the sun, one is the light. In the silence of all-embracing space, thrills one soul rapture of peace. The air breathes and swings to one immortal tune. Fullness of God, perfection of truth, alone revealed everywhere in form, power and glory. The world is not there for me. For me the world is God. We are all trying to, we will not be able to understand this unless we also raise ourselves to that level. But still, it will keep our idea more and more clear. How he dances when he says, to him the world is God. My soul sings the song of eternity, its vision of infinity. The song fills all the worlds. The vision dazzles in and beyond the cosmos. Sweetness permeates my being. My being is not merely individual, it is universal. One with God, the supreme master of all spheres. So nectar is spilling everywhere. Love is the essence, the light of my soul. My life is the expression of love. I live and act as love bids. Love is the spontaneous force that inspires and guides me. Love is like the smile on the face of the baby. Love is like the enthralling notes that thrill in the throats of the tiny birds. My heart is attuned to this love. My pulse beats to the rhythm of this love. All glory to Thee, O love. God comes to me as a child, free, guileless, pure. Its eyes shine with divine luster. It looks with innocence and smile plays on its lips. The moment I behold it, my heart leaps with delight. To say more of it is to reveal a secret, the beauty of which may well lie hidden in the depth. When not a leaf stirs and all is still, it seems nature is meditating on her static being, God. See how the reflection takes us in. When not a leaf stirs and all is still, it seems nature is meditating on her static being, God. The impersonal, the all-pervading, tranquil spirit. I am that nature. Now my soul and all that I am has sublimated, has dissolved into the indivisible whole in which all exists, nothing exists. All resolves to the one truth or existence by whatever name you call it. I see the bright but cool morning, sun shining on the flowers, trees, all nature, lighting all things with its golden radiance. O God, all praise to Thee. This is my morning prayer. My heart adores Thee as all beings, encompassing them in my ecstatic embrace. O God, all praise to Thee. This is my morning worship. Every morning, every movement of mine, from the blinking of the eyes to walking, talking, working, is an act of my day's service to Thee. This is my dedication. God, the master artist, had painted the world picture on the canvas of Himself, the infinite expanse of His splendorous spirit. What a wonderful masterpiece! What variety in shapes and colors it unfolds and presents before our love-struck eyes. God is the picture, God is the brush, God is the paint, and God is the artist Himself. You can get Vinobaji's talks on Gita.
Talks on Gita.
Somebody will be there. God, the master artist, had painted the world picture on the canvas of Himself, the infinite expanse of His splendorous spirit. What a wonderful masterpiece! What variety in shapes and colors it unfolds and presents before our love-struck eyes. God is the picture, the brush, the paint, the artist himself. So when we read this, we remember how Vinoba Bhave has brought out in the book Talks on Gita. When he was going through the Gita, many of you might know that early 30s, when he was imprisoned as the first individual satyagrahi, every day his co-prisoners requested him to share some thoughts on Gita. So every week he used to share some thoughts. Somebody was kind enough to jot down, transcribe the whole thing, and later on it was brought out by himself in English and later on in many languages, must be more than 20-25 languages. In the 7th chapter, he says, when we are trying to understand, the Lord revealed the secret of the structure of this world, which creates illusions. And Papa says, I find God in this, that, this, that. This explanation of this commentary of Vinobaji will give more light to that. An artist, just now Papa said, an artist paints a variety of pictures on the same type of canvas with the same brush. A sitarist creates different ragas out of the same 7 notes. In literature, a variety of thoughts, ideas and feelings are expressed through the letters of the alphabet. Same is the case with the creation. We find in it innumerable objects and propensities, but all of them are products of only 2 things: the eternal life and the eightfold Prakriti. The anger of the angry man, the love of the lover, the agony of the sufferer, the happiness of the happy one, the drowsiness of the idler, the activity of the industrious man, all these are manifestations of one and the same cosmic energy. These different emotions and urges, often contrary to each other, spring from the same source. As the cosmic energy within is one and the same in all, as the cosmic energy within is one and the same in all, the outer bodily cover of all is also the same in nature. The Lord is telling at the very outset that the self, full of consciousness, and the insentient Prakriti are the twin souls from which all creation has come into being. Gandhiji used to say 5 items. Sat Chit Anand, common; Nama, Rupa, different. But behind every Nama and Rupa, there is this Sat Chit Anand. Knowledge, existence, bliss. So the self, who represents Satchidananda, and Prakriti, representing Nama and Rupa. These are the 2 things. The self and the body, the higher and the lower Prakriti, are the same everywhere. Why should man be deluded then? Why should he see differences instead of unity? The face of someone whom we love attracts us, whereas that of someone whom we dislike is found repulsive. We desire to meet one person, shun the other. Why is it so? Different pictures, this is very important. Different pictures drawn by the same artist with the same brush on the same canvas evoke different feelings. Therein lies the skill of the artist. The artist and the sitarist have such a skill in their fingers that they make you laugh or cry. In their fingers lies the magical power. We welcome someone while we shut the door to another's face. We embrace someone, push aside another. Such feelings arise in the mind and at times deflect us from the path of duty. All this is because of delusion. If we are to escape this, we should understand the marvelous skill in the Creator's fingers. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad gives the analogy of a drum. A drum produces a variety of sounds. Some frighten us, some make us dance. If we are not to be swayed this way or that and remain in full control of all such emotions, we must catch hold of the drummer. Then all the sounds of the drum would be under our control. The Lord declares, those who want me to cross the river of Maya should take refuge in me. if we have bhakti, we would see the art of the great artist. We could see the brush with which he paints. Once we have reached the source of all creation and have tasted the rare sweetness of water from the spring at the very source, we cannot but find all other things insipid and worthless. A man who has tasted a real banana would appreciate the beauty of a painted wooden banana for a moment, but then put it aside. So here, when we try to go through Papa's poem and take up each and every field, object, situation, and try to find this, we are actually trying to find the hand of the artist. These are all his play paintings. If we have bhakti, very important, we would see the art of that great artist. So not intellectual assimilation, but with a devotional approach we should see, whether it is a hospital or a school, or a home, or marketplace. Suppose we turn, we change our perspective, then we will be able to enjoy more. Kindly think about it. These are all, Papa is giving us so many such clues. If we look at nature, we see that nature works in unison despite the immense amount of diversity. There is a uniting thread across all in the universe. We believe that the Creator and the creation are not two. The Creator has Himself become the creation. That is why we respect each and everything. When we enjoy the creation, we need to remember the Creator. Just as when we enjoy a delicious sweet, we look to see what producer manufactured the sweet. To be with trees and plants is beautiful because they grow on growing. They become an impetus, an inspiration, and the whole energy is flowing towards the growth. You cannot remain low. You have to go high. If you are alert, then farming can turn you on as no drug can ever do. Just the smell of the wet earth, the smell of the growing plants, the joy of the birds and the sun, all that becomes a milieu for spiritual growth. To be closer to nature is to be close to God. Different Mahatmas have said these ways. But all we learn. How do we try to see his finger? Careful, keen observation, attentiveness, orderliness. For example, suppose now hydroelectric power. Many of you might have seen in the catchment area where the dam is built. And the water is used for both twin purposes, one for irrigation, the other for generating electricity. Who provides? Nature provides. God provides in the form of nature. Ordinary water, rainwater. First of all, he creates this hillocks, and there is something like a confluence where during the rainy season the water level goes up, then he gives the intelligence to somebody, put a dam, so that the water is not immediately, it doesn't go away. And when it is filled, what a tremendous activity. How many years, we don't know, how many decades. In good old days, we were told it took 2 or 3 decades to construct a dam. Still, you see the creativity God has given. And now thousands and thousands of people are getting the benefit for their fields. And there also the power is generated. Where from the power comes? It is inherent, But a process is made. A process is made where from, by the force of this water flow, something gets rotated, and something that that is instrumental in
generating
the energy, electric energy. Just imagine, and that electricity, how it serves is vast creation in what all forms. We just go and switch on. And not only the hydroelectric, thermal is there, now nuclear. Then later on this thermal came into force. From that, they picked up the whole thing. So power plants. And power plants is the base for all industrial activities. If an industry has to be there, we all spend most of our lifetime in Wayanad. In Wayanad, when the Britishers came in 1800s, it was full of forest. God prompted them to visualize that this is the right place for bringing up plantation crops. So the massive scale clear felling was undertaken, and tea was brought and tea was planted. When the tea estate comes up, when you have to pluck the leaves every 10 days or 15 days, depending upon the climate, it has to be processed within 24 hours. Plucking the leaf is not the important thing. Otherwise it will go as waste. On those days there was no electricity. So they will also tree casuarina trees, plants, and that will be cut. And just like you have seen the locomotive, water was plenty on those days. So steam is generated through furnace oil, and then the steam is passed on through some rotating wheels. Power is generated. With that power, the entire tea is processed. Power plants, we are talking about power plants. Everything God is providing, the basic fundamentals. Water, tree, or later on coal, instead of cutting the trees and using it as fuel, then the coal mine. Coal is also a gift given by nature. Coal mines, lignites. Everything comes from Mother Nature. Eh? So when we keep on thinking about power plants is the base for a series of economic activities, a series of activities by which the comfortable life is assured for many, many. Just imagine. So when he brought the manifestation, he provided all the raw materials, gave the intelligence to a selected creation, made them to ponder over and devise ways and means to produce the power. So power plants, energy development, high and intense. Energy is there in us. We know now that God is in the form of energy in us. Otherwise, how can we do so many things? We have got a wonderful office, factory inside, wonderful departments. All those departments become alive because the power is there. Papa used to mention light, power and bliss. God is named as light, power and bliss. He is in the form of power. So it is this power dimension came out in the form of power plants. The first concept of power comes from within. All creativity, it is because of the power.
Without dams also, there are other things also, naturally. For example, waterfalls.
From anywhere it can be done.
Any
So we are talking about power plants. It can come. That is, even the water is provided by Mother Nature only. And the way in which it falls, how it is rooted through that particular one. So the power, now when we keep on reflecting, power is within us. He is there in the form of power. That is why we are now talking, which is called life force. So this power also prompted to have the power plants outside, because we are conscious of the power within us. So in everything there is power. That power has to be brought out, and so power plants it came. Water and wind are so much inherent power which provides energy. We don't see the true power of God inherently in everything, but it can be harnessed as energy if tapped appropriately. Nowadays, the present generation would not have seen rails, locomotive trains. When we remember, the coal will be just pushed, and the water is and the steam is steam engine. The power inherent in the water, when it is made to pass through a process, it produces the power to take the entire compartments, just imagine. Now it is there in the form of electricity. This electricity owes its origin either to this hydroelectric power or thermal or nuclear. First concept. So water and wind. When we go to Tamil Nadu, southern part of Tamil Nadu, you find lot of now wind. Windmill, they say. They don't do anything. But because of the wind, it rotates. Something like a fan. Those leaves rotate. And then it is connected. Electricity is produced. Now from solar, power is produced. Power to light, power to cook. Just think. So suddenly we realize he is there in the form of energy. He is there in the form of power everywhere. We have localized it to certain power plants, this and that. Suddenly we realize air is there everywhere, water is there everywhere, and everything, every anu, atom of these water, they contain power. So he has, because he is power himself, so his creation cannot be but power only. We try to ponder over, we may be able to get more and more. One form of energy is converted into another form of energy which is suitable according to the need. Engineering students will be able to bring out more and more ideas about it. Kinetic energy and one more type of energy is called. So different types of energies, all from, it can be converted. We know that when the vehicle is being driven, how the clutch, how the steering, how the brake, how the accelerator, different functions drawing from the same energy. The horn, the light, same. When that power, same power, it is not used only for a single purpose. See how Papa was dancing now. When you are seeing the master artist, he says, but when we look at it with this angle, of course with bhakti, not with our buddhi. Not with our buddhi. Buddhi will say some formula which we have read. But bhakti will definitely say the growing, the power inherent. So let us try our level best to understand the power, how the air, how it sucks. Simple thing, we all know that from the well or borewell we get the water. We create a vacuum, and then the atmospheric pressure puts on this pressure on the water level, and how the water is lifted. Simple, the mechanism of the air, the characteristics of the air. We don't have to ask the air to come, please do the compression here. All that we have to do is to create an atmosphere, ambience, where the energy gets immediately, expressed. When we switch on the water pump, kindly think about it. In what all forms he comes to us. That energy is converted into so many energies, so many types of energies, which offers, if you go back to any industry, the basis is the power. So power plants, only because of that base power, all industries have come, all creatures come.
The whole Cochin airport made of solar energy.
Solar energy.
First in the world.
Recently we were told in the Cochin airport, we had a glimpse of the entire thing from a distance. massive. But we look at it from the scientific aspect. Only buddhi is there. But we don't see. When we look at a flower, yes, this is how, buddhi and bhakti. When we look at a flower and when we see the great artist there, the great creator, provider, we see the different forms of flowers, different texture, different characteristics, different fragrance. We don't know how to express, but we look at it from a scientist view.
So that is man-made, this is God-made. God-made means you got bhakti. Man-made means buddhi. Like that.
That interpretation might be. When we look at when the God is behind everything, it is bhakti. When we think our intelligence has done and we are responsible because of our research, it is the intellect. And God will not say, you should not say intellect. He will allow us to say. He will allow us to take credit because everybody is also His creation. One of His child says, I have made this. He will allow them. Though buddhi is a gift of Him, He will allow the buddhi to say that I am independent. But now we know, during the first few weeks when we came to the body level, we came to know that how the different organs work, how the senses work, because of the power, life force, Atman, the self, the spirit. Every moment, when this is convinced, all other things become very clear. Then nothing trivial will attract us. The whole world will then be found filled with one undifferentiated joy. There may be hundreds of sweetmeat shops, but the sweets they sell are of the same kind. So long as we have not tasted the real thing, we go on picking a sweetmeat here, a sweetmeat there, like restless sparrows, and still remain unsatisfied. We are engaged in a multitude of enjoyments, and how nice will it be if we could taste the true joy. The Lord has shown us the way of bhakti as the means to taste the true joy. So today He is bringing out this dimension. When you say that God is there in everybody, we can have it only if devotion is there. With the devotion, when we look at it, everything is fantastic. You may not be able to see, we are able to see the tree there in our Panchavadi. See the beautiful shapes, you know. How many? So we will start seeing it, not with that angle. Bhakti alone can make us to see the beauty of it. Beauty of the Creator. How He makes the cows to eat the grass, the hay as well as the fodder grass, and the cattle feed, and the milk comes out, and the milk is turned into butter, curd, from curd butter, from butter to ghee, then so many things from milk, so many things from curds. Suddenly we realize it has all come from where? Who does the process there? How to convert this green grass and hay and cattle feed into a beautiful form of milk, You and I don't do it. The power in the cow, called the life force, God does it, gives it to us. And there also He says, don't stop with this milk. How does a mother get breast milk, at the time of delivery? Who provides? Think. When we say about power plants, all these thoughts well up in our mind. Only with the aid of bhakti. So we try to develop bhakti, then we will be able to see the creation as His creation. Otherwise we may see it as a creation as such. That's why in the poem he said, it is not world. World as world, Papa used to say, is unreal. But world as God is real. If you have to understand that word, this bhakti should come. It is God's. God has provided. God has provided. Then our attitude toward that power. Yes, now we remember the on Ayuda Puja Day, everything. All the missionaries are clean. Kumkum something is applied. We do Aarti. All our implements, agricultural implements, tools, everything, because Shakti. என்ன பூஜை இவ்வளோ? ஆயுத பூஜா, Saraswati Puja, Ayuda Puja. Not only Ayuda, our factory, everything will be clean, kept clean. One of our devotees, he has got a factory in Chennai. Every year he makes it a point to all the devotees assembled there, do Ramnam there, and we all go. Every year religiously we go and do this, and then we will be taken round all his plants. Every missionary, it will be neat and clean. It is the one which produces lakhs and lakhs of so many producers, reaching out to many, many people all over the world. So when we bring bhakti there, in so many forms it can be brought. So bhakti is very important. So when we come to the stage of power plants, Papa is slowly bringing this mysteriously, that none of us be guided by our intellect to say that this is that, this is this. Yes, everything is all right, but behind that intelligence, behind that permutation and combination is God.
Arati Guru
balancing himself. Everybody gave applause. He took his child. And he then he said, yes, you believe me? Yes, believe. Sure, sure. And why don't you give me your child? I will do this. Nobody gave. We should know the difference between belief and our commitment. Trust. Trust is something different. What we have towards God is only belief. It is not the trust. Because then we will give handover now. If what we mean and what we say is right, when I say I believe, it is a very thought-provoking episode. No? Normally we say I believe you. Do I trust him? So the same applies to all of us. When we say God, we believe in the words of masters, we believe in the words of scriptures, everything. But when we come to us, we are reluctant. We are still reluctant to hand over ourselves to him completely. We 100 times read Papa's words. Nothing is yours. When you came, you did not bring anything. Everything is God's. Nice, we don't question. We accept, we reproduce in forums like this. But when the question of handing over comes, so we have to add in our prayer. You don't kindly stop us with the belief.
Make it to act.
You make us to trust you.
When trouble comes, take the stone. We believe him. He will safeguard us. When actually trouble comes, we go and take the stone and throw it that or other thing.
Radharamji has sent it. A person started to walk on a rope tied between two tall towers. He was walking slowly, balancing a long stick in his hands. He had his son sitting on his shoulders. Everyone on the ground were watching him in bated breath and were very tense. When he slowly reached the second tower, everyone clasped, whistled, welcomed him. They shook hands and took selfies. He asked the crowd, do you all think I can walk back on the same rope, now from this side to the other side? Crowd shouted in one voice, yes, yes, you can. Do you trust me? He asked. They said, yes, yes, we are ready to bet on you. He said, okay, can any one of you give your child to sit on my shoulder? I will take the child to the other side safely. There was stunned silence. Everyone became quiet. Belief is different. Trust is different. For trust, you need to surrender totally. This is what we lack towards God in today's world. We believe in Almighty, but do we trust Him? Somebody has written, I accept honestly, I believe in 100%, having devotion, but trusting, as you said, is not. It is a fact for me. If that much trust, then courage like Papa to through life in divine. The very life of ours given by Papa, then how can we without trusting Papa? But when it comes to that, whether blesses for Vairagya to convert belief into trust. Now this is what we have to do. This is the powerful message today Papa is giving to us. Hayyo.